Right now at noon, a man is in custody after a shootout with police in Miami, Oklahoma.
And we've got a warm and windy day for us ahead of increasing thunderstorm chances. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, after 77 years of service, the Carthage Humane Society asked the community for $77 worth of help.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. New at noon today, we have an update in a shooting from Saturday night in Miami, Oklahoma. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation identified the shooter as 25-year-old Michael Cook. Police say Cook fired into Mia Bella Italian restaurant from outside, trying to force his way in. Officers arrived quickly and confronted the suspect, who opened fire and then ran. Now, gunfire broke out again near a nearby Arby's. Cook was shot, taken into custody, and flown to a Tulsa hospital in critical condition. OSBI said he is still being treated for his injuries. No officers were hurt, and one person inside the restaurant had minor injuries from flying glass.
Starting from Mia Bella's, chased him. We have a scene here at the Arby's as well where gunfire was exchanged. We also have another scene at 13th Northwest and Avenue B where the final gunfire was exchanged between the subject and our officer.
Official charges will be determined by the Ottawa County District Attorney's Office. Cook's motive is unknown at this time. Well, just before 7 p.m. Saturday evening, a semi and an SUV collided at Newman Road and North Range Line in Joplin. 3 people were transported to area hospitals. Their injury status is unknown. The semi was traveling north on Range Line and the SUV traveling south. The SUV turned east into the path of the semi, and officers marked and measured the crash for investigation. Traffic was disrupted through the area for about 90 minutes. It's a different kind of graduating class for some area firefighters. For the past 2 weeks, the recruits have been training for long days to prepare for their new career. Over the weekend, the Pittsburgh Fire Department held a burn scenario emulating a 2-story structure fire with victims trapped inside. Now, it's the first of its kind for the department and for the recruits turned official firefighters. It's a way to experience a fire before they're in the field.
We're only going through a 2-week academy. It's not long. They have to cram in a lot very quickly. So to have this live opportunity at the end of it is priceless, because you can't teach fighting a fire until you're fighting a fire.
Well, the Pittsburgh fire chief says the simulation was very successful and they plan to have more recruits experience it in the future. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at today's forecast.
Yeah, we've had a pretty warm day across the area, warming up quickly through the morning and getting above average into the afternoon. Look, from earlier this morning, downtown Pittsburgh, a little bit hazy with those clear skies, and that's because of smoke from the wildfires up in Canada. That's been pushing down into our area. MoDOT camera from this morning also looking pretty good. And now our folks, of course, out on the roadway on this Monday morning. So here's what our severe threat looks like. Overnight tonight, we do have a level 1 out of 5 risk in parts of southeast Kansas. Then as we head into tomorrow, especially into the afternoon, evening, and late night hours, we have a level 2 out of 5 risk for strong to potentially severe thunderstorms. By Wednesday, it's not going to be late into the day before we see storms again, but we'll just have scattered storms, nothing severe at this point. Yesterday started on the dot and made it just a few degrees above normal. So not quite the record levels, but a little above average out there. And we're going to remain above average at least for a little while. That's what we've seen as the trend warming up through the weekend. Wednesday, though, also a little bit cooler. That's why our severe threat at this point is just about 0, just some general thunderstorms, but that will change as we roll through the rest of this week. As for this evening, still clear skies, still pretty toasty out there. And then between about 10, 11 o'clock, an isolated pop-up storm or two is possible. Nothing significant expected there. It won't be until after midnight that we see our storm chances begin to increase. We're going to go over those details with you and talk about the rest of the rain chances we have this week here in just a few minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, an area nonprofit hosted a 5K run, walk, and roll to raise funds this weekend. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
According to the Spinal Cord and Brain Injury Resource Center, around 300,000 Americans live with a spinal cord injury. The Live With It Foundation, a nonprofit based in Oswego, Kansas, hosts a wheelie fun run to raise money for people affected by spinal cord injuries.
here in Southeast Kansas, we are fortunate that we have a lot of people that live here that are willing to give of themselves to help other people. And that's after I got paralyzed, that's the thing that I noticed, is that people were just so willing and so generous to reach out and help others, and I think that's what makes this such a great place to live.
Cass Lewis is Olson's nephew, who had a big hand in bringing this event to life last year. What started as a fundraiser assignment for a marketing class has now turned into an annual event.
And then my mom, I think, was the one who said, why don't you do it for Kevin's thing? And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But yeah, and then we started debating on what to do and things like that. Eventually it turned into me running for an hour and people pledging a donation per lap that I took around the track, which was... It was grueling. I was very tired. I wasn't in very good shape, so it was pretty bad for me. So this is a lot better just running a 5K. But yeah, it's awesome seeing this many people out here. It's crazy.
The Live With It Foundation distributed around $30,000 in 2024 to help community members with spinal cord injuries. But Olson says it wouldn't be possible without the community and their contributions.
It's really incredible. It makes me feel grateful. And makes me just feel as if that we're doing the right thing.
On your mark, get set, go!
In Labette County, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Around 100 people participated in Saturday's race. And race fans gathered this past Sunday at Nevada Speedway for a benefit lunch to support the Baldwin family. Now, this followed the tragic news that 10-year-old Jordan Baldwin was struck by a vehicle and was in critical condition. All proceeds from the lunch went to help with the medical expenses.
My husband, he races a pure stock, and actually he drove for the grandpa, the little boy. So the little boy was actually involved in Victory Lane quite a bit with us. He was a huge fan of my husband's. He loved going there. So this kind of hit a different hole for us. We just wanted, as being family friends, we wanted to support them when they needed us the most.
Well, organizers also held a cornhole tournament and a silent auction with items donated by the community and racers. Well, in May, the Carthage Humane Society reached its 77th year of operation, and as staff and volunteers continue their commitment to these animals, the organization is asking the community to help with a $77 donation. The shelter says donation funds are crucial as the community grapples with an increase of stray animals.
77 years, we have saved thousands of animals, found them homes, returned them to their owners, all the things. So we're very proud of the fact that we have been able to do it for that long, and we'd love to do it for another 77 years.
Minshew wants to remind everyone about their annual fundraiser, Stay Getty, set for June 14th. Well, Saturday, the Webb City Police Department was handing out free kids' IDs at the Webb City Farmers Market. Now, this material allows parents to provide necessary information to law enforcement if the child ever goes missing or runs away. The IDs contain space for fingerprints and current photo and dental records. And the third annual Big Brutus celebration happened over the weekend, and it was expected to see a record turnout. Big Brutus is known for being the largest electric shovel that still exists. And coming up, details of a flamethrower attack at a weekly event to support Israeli hostages in Gaza in Colorado. And later, we're making newlyweds pot roast in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The suspect in a horrifying flame-throwing attack in Boulder, Colorado is due in court later today. Police say 8 people were injured in the assault, which the FBI is investigating as a possible terror attack. CBS's Jason Allen is at the scene.
There's a male with a forklift setting people on fire.
Fear and chaos captured on this cell phone video as a flame-throwing attack unfolded at a weekly Sunday gathering to support Israeli hostages in Gaza.
One person caught on fire from head to toe, and they were burning up. Their whole body was burning up.
Stay away! It happened on Boulder's Pearl Street Mall. People rushed to douse victims, aged 52 to 88, with water, while the suspect was seen just feet away, yelling anti-Israel comments. Police say 45-year-old Mohammed Solomon used a makeshift flamethrower and bottles filled with flammable liquid.
It is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
Homeland Security said Solomon had overstayed his visa. It expired in 2023, and he was in the country illegally.
People are being targeted at Jewish events just by gathering and being Jewish.
Susan Rona of the Anti-Defamation League is concerned about a spike in anti-Semitic violence and says the problem starts with words.
Let's have awareness of the language that's being used and normalized around us that ends up with violence. And let's stop that.
Solomon is due in court later today on a range of charges. Jason Allen, CBS News, Boulder, Colorado.
Still to come, Mr. Food.
It's true. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and we have the proof.
And keeping our eye on thunderstorm chances increasing tonight into the rest of this week. Some could be strong to severe. The latest when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So again, a warm and breezy day out there, as you can see from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh earlier this morning. Skies were clear, but we had some haze, and again, that is due to the wildfires in Canada. That smoke making its way down here. Now, up in Minnesota, they have air quality alerts for nearly the entire state, simply because of how heavy that smoke is out there. As for us, strong to severe thunderstorms possible as we roll through the next few days. Now, tonight, overnight anyway, no tornado risk areas highlighted, no hail risk areas highlighted, but we do have an isolated wind risk in parts of southeast Kansas where some of the stronger storms overnight tonight could produce some wind gusts 50, 60 miles an hour out there. And the best window for these stronger storms is going to be between about 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. Overnight tonight. Again, for the rest of today, looks great. Maybe a couple of clouds here and there. Temperatures above average, and those winds out of the south gusting upwards of 20 at times. As I mentioned earlier, again, around say between 10 11 o'clock, maybe an isolated pop-up shower storm possible. Nothing significant expected. It won't be until the cold front starts to get a little closer, or this wave gets a little closer, and we start to see thunderstorm chances increasing. So again, between 1 and 4, this is when that option or the window for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms will be possible. Now, by towards sunrise tomorrow morning, they're a lot more disorganized initially. We've got thunderstorms out there, and a strong storm or two may still be possible, but it's really just a mess of showers and storms to start our Tuesday. But then by Tuesday, say between 7 and 9, some of these storms, as this wave begins to exit, try to reorganize on the backside. So we could see some additional strong or low-grade severe thunderstorms, especially on the Missouri side, as we head into the mid-morning hours on Tuesday. Then between there and about 5, we have scattered showers and storms. A couple of strong storms or even severe storms will be possible, but they'll be fairly scattered or isolated. And then about 5, we start to see additional shower and thunderstorm development take place. We've got a cold front approaching. Here's that wind shift line with that frontal boundary. And along the front is where we're expecting additional strong, potentially severe thunderstorms to develop. Those will push through the late evening and overnight hours, and that will bring, again, another round of strong to possibly severe storms as we head into the overnight. And then that line will exit early Wednesday, and as I mentioned, most of our Wednesday dry. And then we'll see another round of storms rolling into Thursday out there. So here's what we've got for tomorrow: an isolated tornado risk. We do have a level 2 out of 5 risk on the hail into parts of southeastern Kansas. We're talking quarter, maybe golf ball size hail possible. But the greater concern, and of course it's going to be the concern with a line of storms, is going to be the wind, where we could see winds 60, 70 miles an hour across a good portion of the area. Again, today, mid-upper 80s, clear skies, south winds gusting upwards of 20. Overnight tonight, thunderstorm chances increase and will fall back about 70. Non-thunderstorm winds gusting to 25. Scattered showers and storms tomorrow, as some of those strong to severe. South winds gusting to 30. That's non-thunderstorm winds, of course, back in the low to mid-80s. Wednesday evening, a few shower storms along and south of I-44, and then we start to see another round of scattered storms through the day Thursday. Now, Thursday to our west, there is a severe threat, and I do believe what could ultimately happen here is those storms will then start to push into our area very early Friday morning, bringing that strong to severe thunderstorm threat with them. So that's something we're going to have to watch again late Thursday into early Friday. And these shower and thunderstorm chances will stick with us into the weekend. So there's that severe threat Thursday off to our west. We'll have to see what changes, but I do believe those storms are what's going to bring us a risk late Thursday into early Friday out there. Outside of that, again, rain chances continue through this weekend. So don't cancel your weekend plans. Just keep an eye on the weather. Keep that KOAM Skywatch weather app handy. We should be able to dry out as we roll into the next work week. Elise?
Stick around. We'll be right back. Here's Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Over the years, we've created all sorts of recipes that inspire romance. On Valentine's Day, we've made a lava cake that could melt anyone's heart. We've also shared something called engagement chicken, which is so good that once you make it for that someone special, it'll seal the deal. Since it's the beginning of June, which happens to be the biggest month of the year for weddings, I thought I'd share a recipe with you for something called newlywed pot roast. All it is a chuck roast that we seared along with lots of onions until they were browned. Then we add some water, lemon juice, brown sugar, salt, and get this, some cinnamon. Now all we do is loosely cover it, turn it down to a simmer until it's fork tender. That's it. And when you serve this to that someone special, get ready for the sparks to fly. It's that good. Maybe pair it with a glass of wine and some of your favorite go-alongs and see what happens. So what are you waiting for? Go online and check out the recipe for our Newlyweds Pot Roast, so you'll have a secret weapon to keep your honeymoon going, no matter how long you've been together. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweetheart of a way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
We'll be right back.
All right, again, scattered showers, thunderstorms overnight tonight. Some of those strong, potentially severe. Possible alert day tomorrow for scattered thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong to severe, something we got to keep an eye on. Late day thunderstorms for some of us on Wednesday and again on Thursday with another possible round of strong to severe thunderstorms late Thursday into early Friday. Rain chances finally wrapping up as we head into the weekend.
Lots to look out for.
You bet.
David Air Force later on.
Lots coming up at 5 for starters. Trades like welding, mechanics, and electrical work have long been male-dominated. But now a nationwide push is opening doors for women. We're going to show you programs leading that charge. Plus, a mural restoration project is underway at Camp Crowder, and the Miami American Legion Post is expanding its museum. Join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, KOAM News at 5.
All right, Del, thanks. And that's the news for now. Have a great rest of your day.